Hey guys! So, welcome back. We are going to talk about literal equations number 6 from your Edulastic assignment last Friday. So, I know a lot of you had some questions about this, and so I wanted to go over very quickly with you that they work the same way that your multi-step equations have worked the past week. So, let me prove it to you guys. On number 1, you want to find r, okay? And right now, R is sitting right beside I and T. Now, when they sit side by side like that, that means that we're multiplying all of those together. So to undo that operation of multiply, we divide both sides by the I and the T. Both of them were being multiplied by R. So when we do that, we end up getting R completely by himself over here on the right side, which means that we have solved for R. So our answer here is P, capital P, over capital I, T. And you're done. Number 2, same strategy. We want to get T by itself. Now, T is attached to P and R. So in order to undo this, we first have to not add P, but subtract P away from both sides of our equal sign. So we have A minus P equals PRT. Now don't forget, we have T is who we are looking for to get alone. So P and R are sitting directly beside T, which means that we're multiplying by them. So to undo multiply, we divide. All right. Now, when we divide PR from both sides and we get T by itself on the right, then we have our answer. So A minus capital P all over capital PR is our solution. It's our answer for T. And as you look through your answer choice options, that seems to be letter B. All right. Taking a look at number 3. Number 3 is a little bit different as we're rocking and rolling here. Number 3 asks you to solve for solve for B. Oops, there we go. Now, I know some of you are freaking out because you see this dividing by 2. Now, I'm glad that your eyeballs are drawn to that because instead of dividing by 2, we can reverse that by multiplying by 2 on both sides. So 2 times A, we can also just write as 2A equals BH. No more division, which is better, right? So if I get B by itself, I'm good to go. So right now it's sitting side by side with H, which means that we're multiplying by H. So to undo it, we divide by H, which means little b is equal to 2 capital A over H. That's it. All right, take a look at number 4. We're trying to solve for letter A. Now, letter A is being subtracted. So now we got to look at what's happening with C. Well, C is positive or plus. So if we want to get rid of it or undo it, we have to subtract it from both sides. So we end up getting negative A equals D minus R minus C. Now, to get A completely by himself, there is a number sitting in front of little a. It is a negative 1a, which means to undo this number sitting directly beside a, we must divide by negative 1. So, for our final answer for little a, we should have D minus R minus C all divided by negative 1. All right, let's finish up this first page with number 5. So number 5, they asked us to solve for H. That's the one I was reading earlier, silly Miss Weldy. But H right now has a parenthesis beside it, which means we're multiplying H by something. So the first things first, we need to undo adding by pi r squared. So we're going to subtract by pi r squared from both sides of our equal. When we do that, we've got a minus pi r squared equals 2 pi r times h. And to get h completely by himself, we need to undo that operation with the parentheses. So the parenthesis means multiply or distribute. And so therefore, to undo multiply, you got it, divide. So if we divide both sides by 2r, we should get h completely alone or by himself. So according to all of our answer choice options, it looks like our best bet is letter A. All right, let's move on to number 6, 7, and 8 from the same assignment. Okie dokie. So taking a look at number 6, we are trying to solve for w. But w has a 2 attached to it. So we're going to attach them together. And instead of adding 2l, we are going to subtract 2l from both sides. So p minus 2l equals 2w. To undo the 2 that is sitting directly in front of w, we don't multiply it. That's what it's doing right now. So we divide it. So our final answer for little w is capital P minus 2 capital L, all divided by 2. And you're done. All right, take a look at number 7. Number 7 wants you to get A by itself. But right now, A and D, since they're stuck together, are being divided by B. So to undo that operation of divide, you got it, guys. We multiply by B on both sides of our equation. So we have B times C, or you can just write it as BC. We can assume that that's multiplication. To get A by itself, instead of multiplying by D, we reverse it or undo it by divide by D. So our answer for capital A is BC divide by D. And that's it. All right, number 8. It looks a little scary, doesn't it? But I want to get I want to get R, radius. But right now, R has a power. So we're just going to box him with the power of 2. And let's talk about your operations on that side. Now, right now, I see this divide by 3, and it's freaking me out. So what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. I'm going to multiply by 3, and I'm going to multiply by 3 here. So I get rid of that division, and I make this easier for me to go through. So 3v is also another way to write 3 times v. And don't forget to keep your pi r squared, h. Now remember, we want to keep and to find r squared is what our goal is. So right now we have the pi and the h surrounding the r squared, and they sit side by side, which means we are multiplying. So to undo multiply, we divide. And we can divide both of those in the same step. So we have 3v divided by pi h is what r squared is equivalent to. But I don't want r squared, I just want r. So to undo a power of 2, we use its inverse, which is a square root. Now we're going to play with that a little bit later on in Algebra 1. So don't freak out if that's not too exciting or you're a little unsure about that. And you would square root the entire thing that you came up with in the last step. So all of it should be under the square root symbol, which means our answer is letter B. Okie dokie, guys, couple more to go. Number 9, taking a peek here, is looking for y is what we want. So y has a 2 in front of him, but we can subtract by 3x on both sides. To help us get started. So 4 minus 3x on the right side. Now, to get y completely by himself, we need to undo the 2 in front of the y. So that means we need to not multiply, but bingo, divide it. So we should have a final answer of 4 minus 3x, all divided by a 2. Number 10 asks us to find x. But right now, x is right beside m. So that means we should probably subtract by b first. So y minus b equals mx. To get x completely by himself, we need to undo the m sitting directly beside, which means we need to divide it. So we should have y minus b all over m. I know I'm flying through this, guys, but you can pause at any time so that you can make sure you catch up and you feel comfortable. All right, so we want to find h. But right now, h is being multiplied by this huge parenthesis up at the top. But I do see this big divide bar on the bottom. So how do I undo divide? I multiply. So that undoes that division. And I also have to multiply it on the other side with my a. So right now we've got 2a. We have the b1 plus b2 inside the parenthesis times h. To get h completely alone, we have to undo multiply, which is divide. Hopefully you guys are seeing that there's quite a pattern that keeps emerging, right? That this is exactly the same way we have been solving all along. So 2a over the parentheses of b1 plus b2, which means it looks like our answer is letter B. To finalize and finish, we are going to solve for letter R in number 12. Well, right now, R is surrounded by 2 pi. Well, it's side by side, which means to undo multiply, we divide. We're going to divide C by 2 pi, and that, my dears, should get R completely alone. So that is your answer for number 12. Okay, so your game plan for today is make sure you go back, redo, I have reassigned number 6 literal equations, and now since we did it together, it should be a little bit easier to plug in your final answers, okay? Now, I have also assigned a second literal equations assignment, a couple of questions, not many, and that is what you should complete for classwork today. Thanks, guys.